Picture yourself standing on a dimly lit balcony, the city's neon glow painting shadows on the concrete below. The wind whispers through the cracks of the old building, carrying a scent of rain and old paper. In that quiet moment, you catch a glimpse of yourself reflected in a cracked window, a stranger, yet unmistakably familiar. The image flickers, and you feel a sudden, inexplicable ache in your chest, as if the pulse of a long-forgotten heartbeat is trying to surface. Have you ever felt that same sudden pull, that uncanny tug that leads you back to a place you thought you had left behind? We all have that feeling, that unshakable sense that we are following a path laid out long before our first steps. We see the same patterns replayed in the people we love to hate, the people we love to fear. It's as if our lives are a mirror held up to a deeper, older mirror, one that reflects the images of our parents, our grandparents, the unseen forces that guided them. We're drawn, like moths to a flame, to the same dynamics that once burned bright in our parents' lives. Why does this happen? Why do we find ourselves reenacting the same dance of love, conflict, and longing, even when we know the steps are wrong? The answer, I promise, is not as simple as you need to break the cycle. It lies in a hidden, almost forbidden truth that has been whispered in the shadows of family lore and forgotten in the margins of psychology. Imagine a secret pact made long before the first human ever spoke, a pact that binds the heart's desire to the unseen currents of destiny. Picture a silent, ancient rhythm that courses through the veins of our ancestors, a rhythm that continues to hum in our own hearts even as we try to drown it out. The truth is, we are not merely repeating patterns. We are following a script written in the language of the unconscious, a script that blends the dark archetypes of Jung with the mystical energies that shape our fate. In the next 10 to 15 minutes, we will walk together through a corridor of shadow and light, peeling back the layers of this script. We will explore how the archetypal forces that once guided our parents' choices are still at work, how the hidden energies of the unconscious mind are coaxing us toward familiar, yet unwise, choices. We will touch on the subtle ways in which destiny and synchronicity weave their threads into our everyday lives, how they pull us toward the same familiar faces and the same familiar endings. We will not simply hand you a manual. Instead, we will open a window into the forbidden chambers of your own psyche, showing you how the ancient and the modern collide in the most intimate of spaces, your relationships. So, if you've ever felt the weight of an inherited pattern, if you've ever wondered why the same mistakes keep echoing through your life, if you have a restless curiosity about the unseen forces that guide our hearts, then stay with me. The journey ahead will be as mysterious as it is illuminating, as dark as it is hopeful. Let us step into the shadows together and discover what lies beyond the familiar, what hidden truths await us in the echo of our parents' stories. Imagine a hidden door that never quite closes, its hinges rusted with the weight of stories never told. Behind that door, a quiet room pulses with a dim, flickering light, an echo of the past that refuses to fade. This is where the revelation begins, not in the bright applause of the world, but in the hushed whisper of our own shadow. When we first step into this space, we are met by the image of ourselves reflected in a pool of still water, only to see that the surface shimmers with the faces of the people who raised us. Their expressions are not memories, but archetypal silhouettes that have been woven into the fabric of our psyche. The first layer of this revelation is the notion of the psychic imprint. Think of it as a subtle, invisible ink that our ancestors leave on the parchment of our souls. Each gesture, each word, each silence in the family kitchen becomes a mark that lingers beneath the surface, guiding our decisions without our conscious awareness. This imprint is not a curse, but a blueprint, a map that charts the routes we instinctively follow. When we find ourselves drawn to partners who echo the temper of a stern father or the tenderness of a mother, we are simply following the pathways etched by the hands of those who came before us. But the imprint is only the beginning. The shadow self, that part of us that holds the repressed, the forbidden, the parts we deny, acts as a mirror, reflecting the very traits of our parents back to us. If your mother was a quiet storm, your shadow may be a tempest that you never realize is yours. When we engage in a relationship, our shadow often steps forward, projecting onto our partner what we cannot face in ourselves. The result is a dance of misperceptions, a choreography that repeats itself across generations. In this dance, the anima and animus, the feminine and masculine archetypes within each of us, play pivotal roles. They are not merely gendered symbols, but dynamic forces that shape our expectations of love. The anima, for instance, may yearn for a partner who embodies the nurturing qualities of a mother, while the animus seeks the assertive confidence of a father. When these archetypes are unbalanced, they create a tug-of-war within the heart, pulling us toward partners who satisfy one side but leave the other raw and wounded. The hidden revelation also lies in the concept of energetic inheritance. Imagine standing on a bridge that spans two worlds, the physical realm and the unseen field of emotions. Every time a family member passes, they leave a residue of their own energy, joy, grief, anger that settles into the environment. These residues accumulate like dust on a dusty attic, eventually forming a cloud that envelopes the next generation. When you step into a relationship, you're not just bringing yourself. You're also carrying the weight of those past energies. The partner you choose becomes a conduit through which these energies mingle, sometimes creating a harmonious resonance, other times a chaotic storm. Synchronicity, the phenomenon of meaningful coincidences, often signals that you are on the right or wrong path. A sudden dream of a childhood home while meeting a new love can be more than a coincidence. It may be the universe's gentle nudge, urging you to recognize the patterns that bind you. These moments are not random. They are invitations to pause, to listen to the quiet voice of your unconscious, and to decide whether to continue the cycle or to step into a new rhythm. Now, consider how this applies when you face a new relationship. Instead of automatically falling into familiar patterns, pause and ask, what part of my family's story is echoing here? Listen to the subtle shift in your heart. Does it feel familiar, or does it feel like a new melody? By naming the archetypes that surface, you can begin to untangle the threads of the psychic imprint, allowing the shadow to be acknowledged rather than projected. In doing so, you create a space where the energies of the past can be released and a fresh, conscious partnership can take root. As you walk this path, remember that the hidden revelation is not a revelation of doom, but a doorway to liberation. It invites you to step out of the echo chamber of inherited patterns and into the bright, uncharted expanse of your own authentic self. In the quiet moments between heartbeats, you may hear the faint hum of your ancestors, but you also hear the call to forge a new rhythm, one that is yours alone, unbound by the shadows of the past. The night sky above us is a tapestry of countless threads, each one a silent echo of a story that predates our own. As you have walked this path with me, you have felt the gentle tug of those threads, the subtle pull that guides you toward familiar shores. Now, imagine those threads not as separate strands, but as tributaries flowing into a single, mighty river. The currents that once seemed distinct, those whispers of ancestry, the shadows that linger, the archetypal yearnings, converge, forming a current that carries you onward. It is in this convergence that the true nature of the journey reveals itself, not as a set of isolated moments, but as a continuous flow of intention and insight. Consider the way a candle's flame is sustained. It does not merely burn its own wax. It draws upon the very air that surrounds it, feeding on the unseen currents of heat and light. Similarly, the patterns that have guided you are not static relics. They are living currents that interact with each moment you choose to breathe. Each breath you take becomes a ripple, a subtle shift that can redirect the flow toward new horizons. The resonance between your inner landscape and the outer world is not a simple echo. It is a dialogue, a dynamic interplay that shapes the path you walk. In the quiet moments of reflection, you may notice how the past and present dance together like dancers in a slow waltz, each step echoing a memory while also creating a new rhythm. This dance is not a choreographed routine, but an improvisation born of awareness. By recognizing the patterns that have guided you, you gain the freedom to choose whether to continue the dance or to step into a new movement entirely. The choice is yours, and the power lies in the awareness that you hold the pen of your own narrative. As you stand at this juncture, you're no longer a passive observer of inherited currents. You are an active participant, a co-creator of the future that unfolds before you. The energy that once seemed bound to your lineage is now a tool, a source of insight that can illuminate the path ahead. Think of it as a lantern that once illuminated a narrow alley, now bright enough to light the entire corridor of possibility. With this lantern, you can see not only the familiar landmarks, but also the unseen doorways that lead to new experiences. The synthesis of these elements does not require a grand revelation or a dramatic climax. It is a quiet realization that the threads you have followed are part of a larger tapestry, one that is woven by both your choices and the unseen forces that have always been at play. The tapestry is not a static picture, but a living, breathing work of art that evolves with each decision you make. The colors shift, the patterns morph, and the story continues to write itself. Reflecting on this journey so far, you may feel a sense of awe at the depth of the connections that bind us. It is a reminder that we are not merely products of our environment, but also architects of our own destiny. The next steps are yours to choose, guided by the subtle wisdom that has been gathering in the quiet corners of your heart. The journey ahead is yours to shape, and the light you carry will illuminate the path forward. In the quiet aftermath of every whispered truth, there lies a single thread that glows faintly in the dark, a thread that ties the past, the present, and the future into one seamless, luminous tapestry. It is the realization that we are not merely echoes of those who came before us. We are the living, breathing vessels of their stories, and we possess the power to rewrite the narrative with each breath we take. When we step into the shadowed corridors of our own psyche, we uncover not just the patterns that have haunted us, but the very keys that unlock the doors to new beginnings. This revelation is not a fleeting spark. It is a steady flame that burns in the depths of our hearts. It teaches us that the cycles we see, those familiar dances of love, conflict, and longing, are not deterministic traps, but invitations to choose. Each time we pause, we can decide whether to let the echo of our ancestors resonate or to let our own voice rise above the chorus. The choice is ours, and it is the most profound act of agency we can perform. As the night sky stretches above each star's story, we learn that the constellations of our relationships are not fixed. They shift and rearrange themselves in response to the light we bring to them. By turning inward and listening to the quiet hum of our own unconscious, we begin to hear the subtle music that guides our steps. This music, once it becomes clear, allows us to dance with intention, to move with grace, and to step into spaces that were once hidden by fear and habit. The journey does not end with the recognition of these patterns. It begins there. The true practice is to let each moment become a mirror, reflecting not just who we are, but who we can become. When we confront the archetypal forces that once dictated our choices, we free ourselves to cultivate relationships that honor both our individuality and our shared humanity. We learn to honor the past, not as a prison, but as a teacher, an ancient mentor who whispers lessons through the fabric of our experiences. And so, as the curtain falls on this exploration, remember that the most powerful transformation occurs when we become the authors of our own stories. The script of our lives is not written in ink, but in the choices we make, the boundaries we set, and the love we choose to give and receive. The shadows that once seemed inescapable are now simply rooms to be illuminated, each one offering a new perspective, a fresh opportunity to grow. The final truth we carry forward is simple yet profound. We are both the inheritors of a rich, complex lineage and the architects of our own destiny. In the delicate balance between these two forces lies the secret to a life lived fully, one where we honor the echoes of the past while carving out spaces for our own authentic voice. It is in that space that true healing, true connection, and true freedom reside. So let us step forward with the knowledge that we are never alone in our journeys, for we carry with us the echoes of countless hearts that have walked similar paths. Let us carry them with gratitude, with humility, and with the fierce determination to write a future that reflects our deepest truths. The true practice begins now, in the quiet moments between heartbeats, where the unseen energies of the past meet the conscious choices of the present, and where the next chapter of our story is written in light.